Our live team coverage continues again today. Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Jeff Hill is keeping track of the storms in the Fox 5 Storm Center. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live at the state capitol, where Governor Kemp has followed the storm and the state's response. Our Kim Luffler is in South Georgia, where some areas are seeing isolated flooding. We begin first with Tyler Fingert in Savannah. Tyler.
Yeah, Christine, good afternoon to you. Flood concerns have turned to reality in parts of Savannah. It has rained so much here that this neighborhood street is underwater, and it's not over yet. Forecasters are calling for even more rain before Debby is done. Tropical storm Debby has caused a slow-motion disaster in parts of the Savannah area as the system crawls through.
Debby came in and made her mark.
Shakina Conyer says her and her 4 kids are lucky to be alive after a giant tree fell onto her Savannah apartment overnight. The tree's roots no match for the soaked soil.
It was a loud boom. I wouldn't even say a boom. I can't even describe the noise. It just woke me up.
Previous summer storms have saturated the ground, which officials say has made it easy for Debby to turn roads into rivers.
This is exactly what we knew could happen with large amounts of rainwater.
For days, forecasters have warned Debby could cause potentially historic rainfall, which could lead to catastrophic flooding. Throughout the area, Fox 5 saw multiple streets and neighborhoods underwater, and in some cases, cars stalled. City leaders spent part of Tuesday surveying the damage ahead of another round.
More rain is coming, and we may see other parts of the city that experience more flooding, so just asking residents to remain vigilant.
In nearby Effingham County, the local EMA says they have gotten so much rain, water is breaching a dam, but so far it is holding. Debby is far from done, but for those who are already dealing with loss because of her, they're counting their blessings.
It scared me, but we're safe. Me and my kids are safe.
And crews from the city of Savannah are here in this neighborhood trying to work to get this water down and drained out of here so they can try to get some of these people back in their homes. I'm told 37 homes are affected by the floodwaters here, and 4 people had to be rescued. We're live in Savannah this afternoon. Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
Wow, some incredible images from there. Tyler, thanks so much. And parts of South Georgia continue to see heavy rain today as Debby passed through that area, with flash flooding the biggest concern there. Fox 5's Kim Luffler has a look at the aftermath and what changes the area has made from last hurricane season.
The towns of Waycross and Blackshear, where we are right now, have seen areas of isolated flooding, like in this neighborhood you see here behind me. But officials tell me steps were taken before Debby hit to make sure the flooding wasn't any worse. From yards to roads, several spots in the town of Blackshear were still dealing with flooding Tuesday after Tropical Storm Debby moved through.
I know the river has been up since then. The river has been, I haven't seen any sandbars in a while.
About 10 miles away, Waycross city officials were also concerned about flooding. But the city manager says after last hurricane season, they took extra steps to get ready for this storm. Last August, Idalia hit this area as a Category 1 hurricane.
Although prepared, we didn't respond as we should have probably. It was a major storm. It had been the first in some time. This year, I think we really prepared.
Rayford says workers cleared out canals and catch basins a week before the storm hit, as well as installed larger pipes, which kept water levels down.
At the highest point, they did reach maybe the water table, but after that, they went back down. Right now, they're down below the water table like they should be.
He says they also removed trees last year near power lines, keeping the number of outages down. Power outages were a bigger issue in Lowndes County, about an hour west, with around 24,000 people without power as of midday Tuesday.
We recognize that we still might have some issues because once the water comes down from the next county, because it travels, goes north and travels south, our river will overflow. It should clear in maybe like 2 to 4 hours, and we should be back to normal heights.
Now, officials tell me this area is not out of the woods yet, with more rainfall expected here throughout the week. In Blackshear, Kim Luffler, Fox 5 News.
Governor Kemp held a news briefing at the State Operations Center at GEMA headquarters this morning. He warned South Georgia residents to prepare for another round of severe weather. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live at the state capitol with more details on that meeting today. Deidre.
And Christine, the governor stressing during that news conference that Tropical Storm Debby remains a real threat, telling those who live in the affected regions not to be lulled into a false sense of security, to stay off the road so crews can work to make repairs, to clean up that damage before the second round hits.
We've had a heavy impact on southeast Georgia with heavy winds and certainly a lot of rainfall.
With state officials forecasting a second round of severe weather, Governor Brian Kemp warned South Georgia residents Tropical Storm Debby still poses a threat.
Do not let this storm lull you to sleep, as a lot of affected areas right now are not experiencing rain and high winds, but both models are showing that rain will come back, potentially in the worst case scenario in a big way.
The first round of heavy rains and strong winds rolled through Monday, bringing down trees and power lines and leaving some 47,000 residents without power. 300 members of the Georgia National Guard are ready to provide support in the affected areas as needed. Officials are urging residents to stay off the roads.
Let the DOT and Forestry Commission and DNR strike teams with chainsaws get in there and clear the roads so we get the utility companies in there, get emergency vehicles in there, and do what we need to do if there's any kind of search and rescue that we need to do.
Tropical Storm Debby is expected to circle back around, bringing 4 to 8 inches of rain and the possibility of severe flooding along the coast and inland.
Let us get as much as we can done before this storm comes back and hits us again. Hopefully it doesn't do that. But we have to prepare and warn people that it's likely that that is going to happen.
As they stand by for the possibility of another round of severe weather, the governor did say that power crews are already out working to restore power to as many residents as they can ahead of the second round of severe weather. In downtown Atlanta, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
It's going to be important to have all hands on deck for this next round, potentially. All right, Deidre, thanks so much. All right, let's go to meteorologist Jeff Hill, who's part of our team coverage today, to track what's happening with Debby and what some of these communities should still expect.
They're going to get more heavy rain down around Savannah.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're kind of in a lull right now as the storm system, the center of it is very close to Savannah. So they're kind of in the area where there's not a whole lot happening. Let's go take a look at how much rain has happened so far with this storm system over the last couple of days. Over 14 inches of rainfall as you head up toward Charleston, South Carolina. Savannah, probably about 9.5 inches of rain has fallen there. 5.5 down toward Brunswick. A lot of rain back over toward Waycross. Vidalia's picked up quite a bit too. 6.1 and about 6.1 over toward Statesboro. So again, right now the storm system is making its way back over into the Atlantic Ocean, farther north up the coast, Surfside Beach up near Murrells Inlet. As you start heading up toward Myrtle Beach, you can see the camera there shaking pretty good in the wind. A lot of folks out kind of trying to enjoy the day, but the surf's starting to get a little rougher, and again the winds are really picking up. But